Peyton, I know you saw Money Monster tonight.
Yeah, you want to know what the real money monster is?
What is? What's the secret?
Those ticket prices, am I right?
Oh, dude,
They're so expensive.
Right. You're so right. They are.
Thank you,
They
everybody.
are priced.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
What?
Thank you. I'm retiring. I'll see you guys. That was a great joke.
Oh.
That was great.
Okay. Woo! Bravo, man. That's a pretty good joke to retire. Oh crap, he's my right.
Hey guys, welcome to What to Watch. I'm Peyton Fretwell.
And I'm Christopher Gates. Welcome to another edition of great things to talk about today.
So much movie news. We're a little late this week. We're trying to get everything in.
Yeah,
There are a lot of trailers dropped.
There has been a ton of that.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of trailers, a lot of movies and stuff. Getting, you know, we're heading into the summer season, really getting into it.
If you haven't seen our Civil War preview, or not preview, excuse me, review, you can check it out on the YouTube and also on WRBL. Right now, they're up. You can see them.
Not direct spoilery. It's kind of it kind of rides in between. Probably best if you see it before watching
best
a
if
review.
you see the movie first, or you can just watch us first because we love the views.
Yeah, but we'll watch them both. We don't care.
We don't care.
Yeah, a lot of TV cancellations. We're going to talk
do have
about that, and then we're going to actually talk about the Assassin's Creed trailer.
Yes,
And-
that came out.
Yeah, and let's actually get right into that. This came out Wednesday, I believe. We're filming this Friday, so it's been a good 2 days.
Yeah.
And we haven't really had a chance to talk about this on our show. What were your feelings about the Assassin's Creed trailer?
To be honest with you, I was actually impressed. To be honest with you, I've come to expectation when it comes to video game movies in general.
I'm glad that you're honest with me.
They're bad. They're just be honest
Yeah,
with you,
they're really bad.
Even the new Angry Bird movies coming out, I've heard most of it is mediocre. But then again, if you play Angry Birds, what do you expect?
That's a movie I think should have came out like 5 years ago.
It should have came out.
Went
It
back-
should have been spawned a video game based off of that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Great concept. But no, Assassin's Creed, I'm impressed. There's a lot good going forward. Got Michael Fassbender playing as the titular character.
Connor Lynch, I believe is his name.
Connor Lynch, yeah. You got the same director from Macbeth, Justin Kurzel. And he has a lot of the same people coming back from that movie that he did. And that, if you haven't seen Macbeth, the new one with Michael Fassbender and directed by that guy, do it. I don't even care if you don't like Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Do it. It's just good. It's just a good movie.
Stop watching this. Go watch Macbeth.
And then come back and watch.
And then come back and watch the rest of this.
I was particularly impressed with the action sequences in the trailer itself.
Yeah.
It looks like the video game series. It has that look and familiar to it. And I'll be honest with you, early impression, I was thoroughly impressed with the trailer. I'm still holding it's a trailer. I'm still holding my expectations high to see how the movie turns out because once again, it is video game property. And Assassin's Creed has the storyline can be kind of convoluted, but I know they're gonna tone it down for the movies.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you. I really liked the trailer as well. Wasn't a big fan of the music they chose.
No, I think that's the biggest criticism.
Yeah.
I was listening to it. I was like,
Yeah.
There's so many good Assassin's Creed songs, even just good trailer music in general.
Yeah, somebody actually, a fan recut the trailer and put the video game music behind it. Sounded so much better. You forget how good the music is in the games.
Yeah.
And
No offense to you, Kanye West. Sorry, just your song wasn't perfect that trailer.
I want to offend Kanye West. He seems like a man who needs to be offended every once in a while.
Just saying, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard being a millionaire, you know?
I know, right? I'm married to a Kardashian.
But yeah, this trailer had everything I wanted from an Assassin's Creed trailer. It had action. It had allusions to the game's story. It'll be really interesting seeing what aspects of the video game that they keep and which ones that they change. Already in the trailer, we noticed a difference in the Animus.
Yes, big difference.
Kurtzel already released a statement talking about how he didn't want the Animus to be that laying back, jacked into the back of the neck thing, because we've already seen that in movies like The Matrix. And it's also not, it works for a video game because our point of view is from the assassin. So we're getting to run around and stuff while Desmond in the game, his body's jacked in. In this movie, you have to be able to keep people's interest in both point of views, because in a movie you don't just stay with one character. Usually you go back and forth, and so you have to keep it interesting.
And you're right about that. And since you mentioned that, yeah, I didn't think about that, because that's actually a very good. They have to actually do that. They have to make that for a movie, and I'm okay with changes like that, because to me the movie still looks. It has potential. It does look pretty good.
And that's one of the things that a lot of movies that are adapted from video games have problems with.
Yes.
It's taking stuff that work from the game and then applying it in the movie, but also like picking your changes.
Yep.
And like with the Last Airbender, when you're changing stuff that doesn't need to be changed, we won't go into that because we can have a whole episode based on what's wrong with the Last Airbender. But I loved Macbeth, like we said. let's talk about good
I'm sorry.
movies.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I loved Macbeth. It showed to me. That's why I was so excited that Justin Kurzel was directing Assassin's Creed with the same cast, because it showed to me that he can take something like William Shakespeare that's been done time and time again, and even Macbeth's been done hundreds of times in film, not to mention all the other mediums, but he could do something like Macbeth, show us something new, like the visual style that we got in that movie. The cinematography is beautiful in that, and then get performances like that out of Michael Fassbender and Marion Cotillard.
Of course.
I'm excited for them two to be back in this movie, and I'm interested to see, because Assassin's Creed is a beautiful game.
It is.
I would love to see him take that same visual glare that we get in the games and see it in the movie.
And there's a number of the game series has been out for a while, since I think 2007, 2006, 6 or 7. And there's a number of excellent moments that they can choose in the games that represent the movie, from Assassin's Creed 2 to Assassin's Creed 3. That's probably, it's funny actually, that's one of my favorites, because it does with the American Revolutionary War. So there's a lot that they can really do in these movies and make a great trilogy out of it.
And I totally expected, I'm going to go at this movie probably the harshest I go at many video game movies, because I am a die-hard Assassin's Creed fan. I've been there since day one. I bought the first one, and I have all of them except for the latest one that came out, the one that's in Victorian England.
And that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
So,
but we don't get paid enough to buy $60 games all the time.
Not all the time. Not all the time. Big thing we want to note: Assassin's Creed does come out December 21st.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that. Going against Star Wars.
Rogue One also comes out, I think, the week before that, or rather
3 days before.
3 days before.
18.
Okay, so yeah, so that's that says a lot right there. Where a number of movies are moving away from that December timeline, as we mentioned earlier in our previous videos about the Avatar series,
and Kung Fu Panda.
And Kung Fu Panda, yeah, moving away. Kung Fu Panda, the last one, number 3, I think was originally supposed to come out in December, moved to January because, well, Star Wars. Yeah. And so that's a big. That's
I definitely
interesting.
And as I was saying earlier, it either shows extreme faith in their film, assuming that most of it's done. I'm assuming most of it by this time is already done if it's coming out in December. They're probably doing a lot of post-production, but they're definitely pleased with what they have.
Yes.
If this is when they're planning on it coming out. And I also think it's really smart, considering, like you said, not a lot of movies are coming out at that time, so most people are going to go see Star Wars.
They will.
But most people who go see Star Wars are probably going to go back to the theater to either see Star Wars again or go see this movie, because this is really the only other big time movie that's coming out around that time.
And it's it's an alternative. That's another thing that people are going to go with. It's an alternative to that, because honestly, I'll be honest with you, there are some people out there, they may be Star Wars fatigued. They might just be by that time. And it's weird to say that, because, it's only been a year. That movie will only be a year since the last one came out, but they might already be like, oh my goodness, another Star Wars movie.
It's like, everywhere now.
Yeah, and Disney's going to be advertising. Just when we saw Civil War, I saw it last week. I saw the Rogue One trailer again at my showing. Yeah. So that's just another thing too. So to have them come out during that time, we're both going to see both Rogue One and this movie.
Yeah,
so
let's be honest.
Don't even worry about that. Mark that on your calendar. We will both see that by that time. So you know what to expect
and
from
we
us.
will be here to tell you how good or bad it is.
Speaking of good and bad, you actually saw a movie tonight, and I failed once again because I'm a bad boy.
You're a hard worker, man.
Um,
You do other things other than watch movies.
I wish that's what I could get paid for. 'Cause
Yeah.
that would be a lot more fun.
But-
You did get to see Money Monster.
I did get to see Money Monster today, and I was actually really surprised going into this movie because right now, as last I checked, it has a 58% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I saw that it's mediocre. Like it seems to be split.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of critics are split on this movie, and I was after seeing it, I'm very surprised at that because I think a lot of people are giving it crap that it doesn't deserve.
it has a really good powerhouse performance of George Clooney. You have Julia Roberts, and you have the guy,
Jack O'Connell.
Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Jack O'Connell. That sounds like an Irish name. But,
I believe he's Scottish, but I mean, yeah, they're
sorry,
close.
don't be
geographically.
offend you, Scottish or Irish. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe that's what they're called, Scotland's. That's what they like to be called. Of course, George Clooney and Julia Roberts are great in this movie. They were great in most movies they're in, except for Julia Roberts one or two. Yep, Mother's Day, cough, cough. Geez, that movie was bad.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Don't go see Mother's Day. It's still out. Don't go see Mother's Day.
Even if it was, don't even take your mother.
If you have to see a Julia Roberts movie this weekend, go see Money Monster. That's what I can tell you. This movie. This movie, as of 2 years ago, in 2014, was one of the top movies on the so-called Hollywood blacklist, which is where they put screenplays that aren't made yet, and it was in the most liked. So it was going to get made eventually, and Jodie Foster decided to make this movie. She's only made. She's not a very experienced director. This is only her 8th credit on IMDb. So I was very interested to see how she is as a director. I haven't seen a lot of her other movies.
It's weird to me because the ones I've seen her or seen her like directorial credit, they usually point that out because it's not often because she's a fantastic actress, has been, always will be. But as a director, you don't really get to see that too much of her.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with her by how she was able to keep this movie's pace up. This movie is a thriller, and it is thrilling. If you don't know the general plot, it's basically George Clooney plays this guy named Lee Gates, who's this kind of Wall Street insider type guy, like you see buy, sell stocks, and he's kind of had this larger than life
Like that
show.
Jim Cramer show that was on CNBC. Yeah.
And then Julia Roberts is his director. And they have a rapport between each other. They kind of tease each other. And then this guy, played by Jack O'Connell, kind of interrupts the show. He has a gun. He straps a bomb to his chest, and he's been screwed over, so to speak, by Wall Street. And Lee Gates, he incorporates him he kind of blames him for his hardships.
Yeah.
And we learn more about him as a character. We learn more about Lee Gates and Julia Roberts' character. And it was very interesting to see how all these people interact with each other. And there was a lot of kind of how media covers events like this, where there's a gunman, a hostage situation. And for us for people like us who work in news,
media,
it was very interesting to me to see how, on a national scale, how that's all presented. And I feel like it was presented very, very well. It also tries to make a statement of how we as a society react to these kind of things, how we're kind of passive in that in the moment we're all glued to the television and watching. But then when it's all over, we're just kind of, we move on to something else, and it's just kind of
back to work.
And it was really cool seeing Jodie Foster and this movie kind of tackle our apathy toward tragedy, kind of, our lack of empathy, and then, like I said, it's a very thrilling movie.
It's a very complex, deeply motivated movie. And even from like the trailers and TV commercials I've seen, it's a lot more than just a guy that just interrupts a TV show, holds a gun, and holds people hostage. No, there's a lot more to that. And I'm very interested in seeing it myself. I'm going to try to see it this weekend so we can do like at least a review on it.
Yeah, I heavily disagree with the majority of critics in this movie. If I had to give it a Rotten Tomatoes score, which I definitely don't have the authority to do,
but if you did.
I would definitely. I would probably have it in the high C, low B area, like the high 70s, low 80s.
Low 80s.
Yeah, to me, it set out to do something, it achieved that goal, and it got a lot of great performances from its actors.
I think, everyone these days, it's weird because you have these movies that kind of come out during this time. Civil War is still the big movie.
Yeah.
It's going to probably be the big movie for the next few weeks or so. And so it's like everything else that probably comes out, it just kind of gets sweeps underneath that rug. Because there's another movie that both of us are interested in, get a lot of airtime. The Nice Guys is coming out this Friday. And so it'll be interesting to see how that does, and Money Monster, and just a number of these movies. But yeah, that's another thing we want to point, even as critics, sometimes we say something that you like, you may not like, and you go see a movie for yourself to see how well that you really did.
We're just here to help you save money if you're not very sure about a movie and you want to talk to some people who consider themselves movie buffs, and if we don't like it and that was your okay, well, if Peyton and Chris don't like it, then maybe we shouldn't go see this movie.
I'm just saying, take that as as a good advice, because we will help you out as much as you can. And if you do follow us on Twitter at WRBL What to Watch, we can also give you tweets and updates, and even on Instagram at WRBL Instagram.
And at the end of the day, if we don't like something, and you still really want to go see it, we're not your parents. Go see it anyways.
Go see it.
And, make up
we
your own
both saw
mind.
Batman v Superman, and we saw what the critics were saying about that. And we had to see it.
Yeah, we had to see it, and I definitely enjoyed it more than most critics.
Yeah.
I won't go as far to say it was a good movie, but I definitely enjoyed seeing those characters on the big screen, and I definitely enjoyed seeing, once again, George Clooney and Julia Roberts together in this movie. This is their fourth movie together.
I said they've been together for a number of movies. So
Ocean's 11 and 12, and I believe they were in August Osage County together most recently.
Mm-hmm. So definitely that definitely gives you a watch. So for this
definitely give it a watch, and whenever you get a chance to see it, I will be interested.
Definitely. I'm going to go see it.
I know you'll like it. It definitely reminded me kind of The Big Short. It's not as good as a movie as The Big Short, but it definitely has that same kind of style, and they definitely go out of their way to explain to you some of this jargon.
I need a 2016 Big Short, and I'm in short of that, but that's unintended.
Yeah, that is definitely, which is also a pun intended.
Hey, you know what's not a pun?
What's that?
TV cancellations.
What a segue! I posted this on our Facebook page at WRBO What to Watch, Facebook.com. If you saw where I posted a lot of TV cancellations.
There's a lot going on right now. Yes.
And a lot of people were asking me, why are there so many cancellations? Mm-hmm. Well, this is around the time right before the fall season of TV, where it's what we call TV upfronts, and it's where it's kind of a culling of shows. And if you need look up what culling means, if you don't know, it's kind of a.
I might even put a definition down there.
Put it down there.
Why not?
But yeah, it's basically where they see what works and what doesn't for different shows. If it's not getting the viewership that they want and it's costing them too much money to air, they get rid of it. And they make room for another show that might do better. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these shows, especially on ABC, I was very surprised to see get canceled. Just to name a few from ABC at least. Agent Carter got canceled.
Yeah.
Gallivant. Castle,
definitely,
in its 8th season, and Nashville, which my girlfriend actually watched. She was very upset to hear that Nashville got canceled.
Yeah, Nashville, and one of the reasons that sometimes these shows you can't cancel, the ratings just don't really pick up as much as they used to. Especially the longer a show goes on, it's kind of harder. And if they change the time it comes on or the day of the week it comes on, but Nashville and Castle, Agent Carter, those are three. I know those are fan favorites. Particularly Castle and Nashville, because a lot of people were really watching. They got invested in the characters.
Exactly.
And so a lot of stuff. Castle had a lot of issues with them trying to sign people to come back. The lead that plays
the lead
show,
woman.
She did not. They asked her not to come back, which that right there kind of was like. Even if they did get renewed, this was going to be the ninth season would have been the final season, but they couldn't work out deals with Nathan Fillion and the other characters. So,
and there are rumors that they will kind of wrap up the Agent Carter storylines that are not going to get resolved in the next season. They're probably going to wrap those up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. somehow through like flashbacks or files.
They could do that.
They could definitely do that because
they could do an episode or two just probably based off of that, or even a TV movie or something. They could probably just do.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel right now has they're not they're not worried about
Netflix, if you're watching, Agent of Carter could use a little saving. They
Yeah.
already got Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and they got Luke Cage coming out later
which
this
looks
year.
like it's going to be great.
So-
the Wire of Marvel
Wire,
is what
yes.
they keep calling it.
So-
that's something to live up to. And then on Fox, they got rid of Grandfathered.
That surprised me.
Yeah, with John Stamos and Border Town, which I didn't watch. The Grinder, which I was very surprised.
Yeah, that's a surprise to me.
Because that one was getting Golden Globe and Emmy nominations.
It was highly rated. Critics loved it. I was a particular fan of it. The only problem for me about The Grinder and even Grandfather, I enjoy both shows, but hate to say it, they came on Tuesdays, and there's one show that I'm particularly watching on Tuesdays a lot. That's The Flash on CW, and that even with a DVR, I was still watching Flash. And I was recording Flash.
Yeah. You record Flash twice before you recorded Grinder once.
So I was like, oh, and those shows, I was like, oh, I'll just get it when they come out seasons later.
And then they also canceled Minority Report, which which bummed me out, not because I was a fan of Minority Report, but because earlier on Fox, there was a show, I'm blanking on the name, but it was this android was a cop, and it was a
Almost Human.
Almost Human. Thank you so much. But they canceled that show.
I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah, Almost Human was really good. I enjoyed it, and it didn't really make it that far in its first season before it got canceled, because they aired episodes out of order.
They did.
And then they did a bunch of mix-up. And a lot of rumors I've heard is that they did that because somebody in the Fox executive up high wanted this show, Minority Report, to air, but it was too similar to Almost Human. So there was like some sabotage with Almost Human. It got canceled because nobody can follow the story. So then they make Minority Report, and then Minority Report ends up getting canceled because these networks keep making shows on movies that don't need to be TV shows.
What are you talking about? Rush Hour. Sorry.
And then Second Chance also got. I didn't know anything about that. I just know
it was like a RoboCop meets Frankenstein
right.
story. Yeah. So.
And it had the actor from I don't know his name, but I know he was in the last 2 seasons of True Blood, and I liked him in it. But I didn't know really much about the show, and then I'll let you do the last one.
Yes, CBS, Art Station.
Art Station.
Actually, there's a number. They canceled CSI Cyber.
CSI is no more.
Yeah, this is the first time I read a statistic. First time in 15 years that CBS will come on the air without a CSI, this fall without a CSI show.
It's insane to me.
That is just...
It's the end of an era.
It really is. I mean, the first time a CSI show was on, we were in grade school.
Where else will I go for heavily edited Who songs?
Apparently USA, A&E, and sometimes I think probably Bravo.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, cool.
Who are we? I wish Bob was here right now. He could sing it better than I can.
He could.
Supergirl. This was a big one because a lot of talk was about...
Canceled.
Yeah, it was canceled by CBS, but it's actually moving to the CW, which I personally think is going to fit better because CW already has Flash, Arrow, DC's Legend of Tomorrow. This show will fit right into it, especially since they did the crossover episode with the Flash. So now Supergirl will be part of that network. CW, they got themselves a really bolstered lineup right now.
Yeah, they're gonna have a Justice League show here.
I mean, really, basically, they're almost the only thing they're missing is a Green Lantern type show, which that's not gonna happen. Angel from Hell that got canceled, and Under the Dome, that's another one that got also canceled. So that's a big summer series, and it's replaced. They're doing American Psychic or something like that. They're doing their own version of the show on FX. I can't think of the show right now.
American Crime?
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story.
They're doing their own American Horror Story type show. And so, but that's really surprising on some of their cancellations, number of their shows. They've even, particularly I think Under the Dome, because that was a big summer show that was getting the ratings and people were interested in, but CBS decided to cancel that. Is there anything on there that really surprised you?
I'll be really the only one that really surprised me was The Grinder. And Agent Carter also was a close second to my most surprise. And these aren't even all of them. If you want to look them up, they have them all over online. I wish we could put a link right there, but
Yeah, but you can check our Facebook. We got one on our Facebook.
yeah, our Facebook's got we
links
have
and stuff.
that list on there that I told you about, and that's not even all of them. There were some that were there was just too many to list. It really was. And then there we'll probably in another episode we'll talk about all the renewals
and what's expect to come this fall. Yeah, actually, a cheap plug I want to throw out there. One thing that we could do, a lot of these new summer shows, they come down. The networks will allow, since we work in the media, we're actually going to allow us to get to see them the shows for free over the summer, so we can get to see premiere episodes and get initial thoughts and reactions on what these new shows come out. So if you want to actually waste your time and DVR this stuff, or maybe not.
Exactly. So we're not only here for movies, we're here for all sources of entertainment.
We're here to help you out no matter what.
So we'll let you know what good TV is coming out this coming fall. On to the next thing. We didn't even talk about NBC.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I've got to mention.
It's on the next page of my notes.
I forgot about that. Sorry about that. Sorry, NBC.
Okay. But NBC, really the only one that I care to mention is Undateable. I did not. Yes. I love Undateable.
Undateable, that got canceled. The Player, Truth Be Told, Mr. Robinson, Game of Silence, and Best Time Ever with Neil Patrick Harris.
I didn't know Neil Patrick Harris was capable of failing.
I didn't know that either.
Even if this is a failure to him, he's probably like on his yacht somewhere.
He's doing just fine, trust me. How that show got canceled, but The Voice is still on. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Right.
We have a trailer that we do want to talk about. A new one. Besides Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, among all the trailers that came out, particularly today, a lot of came out today and yesterday. One of the ones that struck us was the trailer for Don't Breathe.
You were just telling me about this, and I had just watched it before the episode. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Wow. It really caught me by surprise because, we see these nickel and dime horror movies getting made on cheap budgets that are your general jump scare, and that's what a lot of what I'm hearing about movie that came out today was The Darkness. It starts strong with strong acting from Kevin Bacon, but then it just divulges into cliches. And this movie, though we haven't seen it yet, it looks like it's gonna it has a great concept, and it's in great hands.
I like the premise of it. Basically, it's a group of teenagers. They're just your ordinary teenagers. They decide to go rob this particular old man. This particular old man is blind. So they decided, like, hey, they heard a rumor he has a stack load of cash in his house. So they go in there, they break in, they think nothing's going on. Old man fights back. This old man, although blind, is just as good as a person with sight. And now they're stuck in his house, and he basically has some traps. So it's really, you describe him as like a Daredevil type. Really, that's what he is. He's like it's like being stuck in a dark room with Daredevil.
I just call him the Lang. I forget his first name because I know his last name is Lang, but I love this actor. He plays in a lot of he's a big guy.
He looks he's intimidating.
For an older man, he is quite fit.
He's the actor they wanted to get, the one that I think wants to try out for Cable in the Deadpool sequel. I'm okay with that.
He wants to be Cable, and I hope they hire him because he is a great actor, and he definitely looks like Cable too.
He does.
And I definitely think he would have a good rapport with Deadpool. That aside, Don't Breathe is written and directed by the director of the Evil Dead remake.
Yes,
and I think
well done if you haven't seen that.
Yeah, that movie I feel like was underrated. Not a lot of people talked about it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great spin on the Evil Dead. It was definitely a lot more serious, a lot more horror-based than Evil Dead.
Not as comical as the ones that Sam Raimi did with the actor.
Not comical at all, Chris. It's not comical at all, unless you laugh at just gruesome scenes of violence, and you have a problem if you do that.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah, lack of empathy. Empathy. That's hard.
I don't know how to spell that word.
Lack of empathy, the first sign of being a sociopath. But if you watch this movie, don't watch it with kids. With Evil Dead, that is, not Don't Breathe. We haven't seen it yet. But Evil Dead, great underrated horror movie. Check it out. Has one of my favorite scenes in a horror movie, including a chainsaw and it being attached to someone's arm. If you watched Evil Dead, any of them, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know exactly.
Starring Jane Levy, who also starred in the Evil Dead remake. She also, you may know her from the short-lived series Suburgatory.
Yes.
She was in that.
Yes.
Definitely darker then Suburgatory.
Of course.
Yeah, that's when I like noticed her as an
course.
actress. I enjoyed her in.
I like the show because they had one of my favorite actors, Jeremy Sisko.
Jeremy Sisko. Was that her dad?
Yeah, I think he was the dad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I liked him too. And this movie prompted me to talk about how just a lot of people talk about how horror movies these days are not that great. I definitely think with The Witch coming out and
Yeah,
Hush,
that comes out very soon.
yeah, it comes out May 17th. I checked it because I am buying that day one.
Yeah, we're getting that day, and we will have a random review on that as well.
Exactly. And Hush, which is out on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, that movie is severely underrated. No one's talking about it. Kind of a flip of this, whereas the victim is actually deaf and can't hear the home invader. And he's kind of like playing some mind games with her. So it's kind of a flip on this premise.
I like that. You know, it's a good little twist. And that's all it takes sometimes. Just a good little twist. You can make something really great out of it. So I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, it was originally called, this movie was originally called A Man in the Dark before it was premiered at South by Southwest, where it was first called Don't
If
Breathe.
you watch the trailer, there's a final scene in there where he says something like, "Now you're gonna see what I see," and he like turns the lights off and you see like it's night vision.
Yeah.
They had the camera work, but that in itself, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably some mention for me right there."
That was that was terrifying. I can't wait for that sequence. And it's not rated yet, but you got to assume it will be rated
It's
R.
rated R. And it will come out August 26th.
Yeah, August 26th of this year, and I can't wait to see it because I love good horror movies.
Yeah, we've seen some good movies this year. Hopefully, this will be one of them, especially if it's horror related. Unlike a couple others, darkness. Anyway, but if you like this episode and want to see more episodes, you can check us out at WRBL.com. You can click on the Watch tab, go down, see what to watch. You can see our episodes there. You can also subscribe to us and follow us on YouTube. Search for us as What to Watch on there. You see the little page, you see it. Please subscribe. You can also see your videos on there as well.
Subscribble, click it.
Subscribble.
And like this video. Make sure you do that.
Please do. Yes, thank you. See, you always remember the important things I forget.
And also, guys, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at WRBL What to Watch. Keep you up to date on all the movie news, and you feel free to send us stuff. There's stuff we don't know about that we're constantly finding out about
all the time.
Yeah, so feel free to send us some pictures of your family and little Rugrats going to the movies. And
okay, you fixed that sentence. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was like, I
don't just send us random.
I don't want
pictures
to see
of
random
kids.
pictures of people's families. Sorry, please.
I'm sure they're lovely.
I'm sure they're lovely. I just don't want to see them. We're not. I'm not Chris Hansen, and this is not that show.
Yeah. Why don't you have a seat, Chris?
I don't want to.
Why don't you have a seat?
I've already said.
Have a seat. Would you like some cookies?
I'm gonna leave now.
Okay.
Not because I don't want cookies. It's because I feel really uncomfortable.